I Cannot Tell a Lie. When supermodel Iman met David Bowie, it marked the start of a romance that felt like something out of a fairy tale. They met through a simple blind date, but their connection was anything but ordinary. Over their 24 years together, they became one of the most iconic couples, with Bowie's artistry and Iman's elegance perfectly complementing each other. After Bowie's passing in 2016, Iman opened up about their love and vowed to keep his legacy alive. Now their daughter has grown up, embodying a striking mix of both parents. Join us as we dive into the epic love story between Iman and David Bowie, uncover the legacy they left behind, and see how their daughter now shines as a beautiful reflection of their bond, Iman's early life and strong roots. Iman, born Zahra Mohammed Abdul Majid in Mogadishu, Somalia, had an early life shaped by her family's traditions and her grandfather's dreams. She was raised in a Muslim household and later given the name Iman, which means faith in Arabic. Her grandfather believed this strong, masculine name would bring her success, and it certainly seems to have done just that. Iman's father, Mohammed Abdul Majid, was a diplomat, even serving as Somalia's ambassador to Saudi Arabia, while her mother, Mariam, was a gynecologist. With 2 brothers and 2 sisters, she was the first girl born in 6 generations of sons in her family, a significant moment for her relatives, and one that gave Iman a special place in their history. During her early years, Iman stayed with her grandparents, but at age 4, she moved to a boarding school in Egypt, where she spent her childhood and teenage years. Political unrest in Somalia later led her father to move the family back to Mogadishu, but this return was brief. Soon after, her family relocated to Kenya to find stability. At the University of Nairobi, Iman briefly studied political science before a surprising turn in her life changed everything. While studying at university, Iman caught the eye of American photographer Peter Beard. Her striking looks, her long neck, slim figure, and copper-toned skin captivated Beard, who encouraged her to pursue modeling. Soon after, she moved to the United States, and just a year later, she landed her first assignment with Vogue in 1976. It didn't take long for Iman to rise to the top of the fashion world. With a look that was both unique and elegant, Iman became a favorite among designers. Her typically Somali beauty, as she humbly describes it, made her an instant sensation, and she went on to grace the covers of the world's leading fashion magazines. She worked with some of the most influential designers of her time, including Gianni Versace, Calvin Klein, Halston, and Donna Karan. Yves Saint Laurent, who considered Iman his dream woman, held her in high regard. Through these experiences, Iman became a true muse, inspiring many designers' collections with her timeless beauty and distinctive look. Even today, Iman's influence remains strong. Represented by Tess Management in London, she stands as a symbol of elegance, strength, and cultural pride. But what about David Bowie? David Bowie, the chameleon of rock. David Bowie, born David Robert Jones on January 8, 1947 in England, was one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. His journey to fame wasn't easy. He had a love for music early on and studied art, music, and design before diving into his career as a musician in 1963, but his first attempts weren't successful. He struggled with a series of singles that didn't gain much attention and even released a solo album in 1967 that went largely unnoticed. Then in 1969, Bowie finally broke through with the song Space Oddity. The single hit the UK charts, marking his first real success. But Bowie was far from done with experimenting. By 1972, he re-emerged with a new look, a fresh style, and a new persona: Ziggy Stardust. Ziggy, known for his flashy outfits and androgynous appearance, became a cultural icon. Thanks to hits like Starman and the album The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and The Spiders from Mars, Bowie's bold style captured attention, and fans were instantly drawn to his unique and fearless approach to music and image. As the years went on, Bowie kept evolving. In 1975, he shifted gears again with a style he called plastic soul, leaning into more American-inspired sounds. While this change confused some fans in the UK, it earned him new success in the United States, especially with the hit Fame and the album Young Americans. A year later, Bowie took another risk both in music and film. He starred in the cult movie The Man Who Fell to Earth and released the album Station to Station, which brought in a darker, more experimental sound. The late 70s saw Bowie continue to experiment with electronic sounds in what's known as the Berlin Trilogy. This series, created with musician Brian Eno, included the albums Low Heroes and Lodger. With songs like Heroes, these albums earned Bowie critical praise, adding yet another layer to his legacy. Bowie's sound and style were always changing, and he wasn't afraid to take risks, even if it meant losing fans or venturing into the unknown. By the 1980s, Bowie was one of the biggest names in music. His 1980 single, Ashes to Ashes, became a hit, and he achieved incredible commercial success with the album Let's Dance in 1983. After exploring new styles with his band Tin Machine in the late 80s, Bowie returned to solo work, diving into the electronic and industrial styles of the 1990s and 2000s. He also had a number of acting roles, including memorable performances as Jareth the Goblin King and Labyrinth and Nikola Tesla in The Prestige. Over his life, Bowie sold over 100 million records, making him one of the best-selling musicians of all time. He earned 6 Grammy Awards, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1996, and received praise for constantly reinventing himself. Even after his death, Bowie's influence is still felt, with fans around the world and accolades like being named the best-selling vinyl artist of the 21st century in 2022. Now the real question is, what brought a supermodel like Iman and a rock legend like Bowie together? The untold love story of when David Bowie met Iman. By the end of the 1980s, David Bowie was a global superstar known for his unforgettable music, bold stage presence, and creative reinvention. Yet behind the fame, Bowie felt an emptiness that even his music couldn't fill. Teddy Antolin, Bowie's longtime hairdresser and friend, revealed that Bowie reportedly felt lonely at times, despite his high-profile career. Teddy recalled, "David was very lonely. It was so sad. All this hard work David did each day, and then he was alone." Though admired by millions, Bowie yearned for someone who understood him beyond his rock and roll persona, a partner to share his life with. Then came a night that would change everything. Teddy, sensing Bowie's need for companionship, decided to play matchmaker. At a party in Los Angeles, Teddy met Iman, a stunning supermodel and philanthropist, and he instantly thought of his friend. But convincing Bowie wasn't simple. Bowie was based in New York, and Iman was in Los Angeles. Teddy managed to bring them together by inviting Bowie to his birthday dinner in L.A. and making sure Iman would attend. The stage was set for a fateful encounter, but neither Bowie nor Iman could have guessed just how transformative this evening would be. Love at first sight. On the night of their first meeting, Bowie arrived in style, driving a white Mustang and dressed in a full white denim ensemble. Iman made her entrance soon after in a black Mercedes, wearing all black leather, a vision that captured everyone's attention. As Teddy described, it was like electricity in the air. The room's energy shifted as Bowie and Iman laid eyes on each other. Bowie's gaze never wavered, and the chemistry between them was palpable. Teddy recalled how they spent the evening engrossed in conversation as if they'd known each other forever. For Bowie, it was love at first sight. He was convinced that Iman was the one. But for Iman, things took a little longer. Bowie was undeniably charming, and his attraction was obvious. Yet Iman was cautious. She was drawn to his magnetic personality, but she needed time to warm up. Later, in a 2021 interview with People, Iman laughed. David said it was love at first sight. It took me a few months, but I got there. She felt something deeper, something faded, yet she held back. Bowie, however, was not a man to be easily discouraged. He took it upon himself to win her heart, and he did so in a way that was nothing short of enchanting. The Gentlemanly Pursuit. Not long after their first meeting, Iman left for Paris to walk in a fashion show. Bowie didn't let distance dampen his feelings. Instead, he decided to woo her properly. While she was away, Bowie sent flowers to her hotel room, each bouquet a reminder of his growing affection. And when she returned, he was waiting for her at the airport, a gesture that touched Iman deeply. In her words, he properly wooed me, showing her a side of him that was thoughtful, patient, and romantic. Bowie's efforts paid off. He had shown Iman that he was more than just a rock star. He was a man ready to be a devoted partner. By the time Iman returned, she began to see him in a new light. Bowie's persistence proved that he wasn't interested in a fleeting romance. He was looking for a true connection. By 2000, Bowie himself expressed how certain he was that Iman was his soulmate, saying that she would be my wife, and my head was a done deal. I'd never gone after anything in my life with such passion. I just knew she was the one. It was a commitment that would ultimately lead to a lifetime together. A love sealed with 2 proposals. Their romance moved quickly, but not without some hesitation. Bowie proposed to Iman not long after they began dating, but she didn't say yes immediately. When her friend Teddy asked about her decision, she replied, "He's asked." I said, "No." Iman explained that while she loved Bowie, she needed him to meet her family and understand that he was marrying not just her, but her entire tribe. Bowie, love-struck but respectful, didn't push her. Instead, he honored her wishes and took the time to understand what mattered to her. Soon after, Bowie proposed again, but this time he pulled out all the stops. During a romantic trip, he took Iman out to the Adriatic Sea and proposed on his yacht in the Bosphorus Strait. This time, Iman accepted, and Bowie gifted her a 15-carat star sapphire ring, a rare find that he had tracked down just for her. But apart from that, he and Iman picked out a second ring together, a stunning 14-carat yellow canary diamond. Bowie wanted everything to be perfect, and for Iman the 2 rings symbolized their deep connection and shared love for beautiful things. Their engagement was not only a promise, but also a celebration of the bond they had built. On April 24, 1992, Bowie and Iman had a quiet ceremony at Lausanne City Hall in Switzerland. Their love was formally sealed, but the celebrations weren't over. A few weeks later, on June 6, they held a grand wedding in a Tuscan villa in Italy, with celebrity guests like Yoko Ono and Valentino in attendance. Teddy was there, recalling the event as nothing short of magical. David was very happy. He never looked better. He was so sharp, he said, describing how Bowie's happiness was evident. Bowie even prepared a playlist for the night, mixing dance music with a few of his own tracks, showing his playful side to the guests. In the years that followed, Iman had a profound impact on Bowie. His friend Teddy noted that Bowie even made lifestyle changes, quitting drinking and becoming more grounded after meeting Iman. Bowie would later say that he had to step up to impress her, a testament to the positive influence she had on him. Their love transformed Bowie, inspiring him to become a better version of himself, all while remaining true to his artistic spirit. Together, Bowie and Iman shared over 2 decades of love, which was a result of their shared values and strong foundations. When David Bowie and Iman met, both had already experienced marriages and knew what they wanted in a partner. David had been a rock icon for over 2 decades, and Iman was a fashion legend. But fame alone wasn't enough for them. They craved a deeper connection, one built on shared values and life goals. In a 2021 interview with the New York Times, Iman reflected, "We knew what we wanted from each other. They were both mature, grounded, and ready to live life with a clear purpose, not just for themselves, but for each other. I know my identity, and David knew his. When we met, we agreed on living life with a purpose," she added. This shared focus helped keep their relationship strong over the years. They understood each other in ways that went beyond the surface. Bowie had already lived the high life of a rock star, but with Iman, he found a partner who valued stability and purpose just as much as he did. When asked later about remarrying after David's passing, Iman told People magazine in simple yet powerful words, "He's not my late husband. He's my husband." Their love, bound by respect and mutual understanding, had a lasting impact on both their lives, even beyond his death. Their attraction to each other was instant and powerful. David's feelings for Iman were strong right from the beginning. "My attraction to her was immediate and all-encompassing. I couldn't sleep for the excitement of our first date," Bowie once shared with Hello magazine. He often referred to her as intolerably sexy, capturing just how taken he was by her presence. Iman, too, found Bowie irresistible. She later told People, "David was beyond handsome. He oozed charisma." Their chemistry wasn't just about physical attraction. It was also about feeling genuinely cherished and understood by one another. Being with Iman brought Bowie immense happiness. In an interview, he mentioned feeling blissfully happy whenever he was with her. Iman, in turn, described a sense of feeling cherished and safe when she was with him. Their connection was deep and filled with respect, making them one of the most admired couples in both the fashion and music worlds. But their relationship wasn't just about glamour. Despite their larger-than-life personas, they looked at each other with genuine admiration, grounding their love in something truly real and lasting. Their bond was rooted in love and respect. Unlike many celebrity relationships, theirs was grounded in respect, admiration, and genuine affection. They became one of the rare couples that transcended the stereotypical rock star model cliché and created a partnership that was both deep and lasting. Throughout their marriage, Bowie and Iman kept a low profile, letting their connection remain their own rather than a public spectacle. Iman has often spoken about how their relationship was filled with meaningful gestures that made her feel loved and valued. She shared an early memory of Bowie, who, within their first week together, stopped on a busy street to tie her shoelaces, a simple but heartfelt act that she never forgot. "That is my perfect person," she reflected. It was these small, thoughtful gestures that defined their relationship, blending beautifully with the larger, more glamorous ones. Bowie once gifted her a rare Birkin bag, which became another symbol of his love and attentiveness, a private life cherished together. When Bowie and Iman settled down, they chose New York City, where they could enjoy a quieter, more private life. Both of them wasn't the center of their world. Instead, they focused on building a home together. Iman shared with The Guardian, "David is even more of a homebody than I am. At least I go to parties once in a while." By the time they met, Bowie had left behind the rock star excesses, and both were committed to maintaining their privacy. "David and I were both very protective of our privacy," Iman explained to the New York Times, revealing that their home, bedroom, and family life were off-limits to the public. In Iman's words, "I fell in love with David Jones. I did not fall in love with David Bowie. Bowie is just a persona. He's a singer and entertainer. David Jones is a man I met." For Iman, loving Bowie meant loving the man behind the fame, the man who preferred quiet nights at home over red carpet events. Together they built a life focused on each other, and their daughter Lexi was born in 2000. Bowie's family became his greatest joy, and Iman's grounded presence helped him live a more balanced, meaningful life. Their shared desire for privacy allowed them to focus on what truly mattered, each other and their family. Even after Bowie's untimely death, Iman has held on to the deep love they shared, a bond beyond death. David Bowie's death on January 10, 2016, shattered the music world and left an irreplaceable void in Iman's life. In an interview, she described her grief saying, "People say to me, 'Oh, you're so strong.' I'm not strong. I am just trying to keep it together." After Bowie passed, Iman focused on their daughter Lexi, helping her process the loss of her father. It wasn't until Iman spent some time at their family home in upstate New York that she was able to process her own grief. She shared that during the pandemic she found herself stuck there, finally confronting the heartbreak she had been carrying. For Iman, Bowie isn't gone. "He's not my late husband. He's my husband," she said, expressing that Bowie's presence feels alive in her memory. She finds comfort in small moments, even seeing him in nature, like when she noticed a bluebird fly by during a hike. This moment felt deeply meaningful, especially since a bluebird is referenced in Bowie's song, Lazarus. For Iman, Bowie is hiding in plain sight, present in their memories, his music, and the love they shared. After Bowie's passing, people often asked Iman if she would ever consider remarrying. Her answer has always been a firm no. Even Lexi once asked her mother if she would ever marry again, to which Iman replied, "I still feel married." The connection between Iman and Bowie is unique, and she has said that he is her one true love. In an interview with Harper's Bazaar in 2021, she shared, "David is in our hearts and minds on a daily basis for all of us." Iman believes that Bowie was her soulmate, her once-in-a-lifetime partner, and nothing could replace that. She holds on to the memories of their life together, recalling moments that now feel like treasures. For Iman, marrying someone else would mean moving on from Bowie, and she simply isn't interested. As she explained, their love remains so strong that she feels no need to find anyone else. Who is David Bowie and Iman's daughter? David Bowie was known for his trailblazing music, iconic style, and alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. But one of his proudest achievements was his family. Bowie and Iman, who was his second wife, welcomed their daughter, Alexandria Lexi Zara Jones, on August 15, 2000. For Bowie, having a child with Iman was a cherished milestone. He eagerly anticipated becoming a hands-on dad, saying, "It's been a long and patient wait for our baby." But both Iman and I wanted the circumstances to be absolutely right. He wanted to fully focus on his family, and they made sure to create a nurturing private space for Lexi. Their family life wasn't all about the glamour of fame. Iman described them as very normal, sharing moments together, like Bowie playing music with Lexi. Even though they were a high-profile family, Iman encouraged Lexi to stay out of the limelight as much as possible. She wanted her daughter to enjoy her childhood privately, something Iman herself hadn't experienced. This guidance shaped Lexi's childhood and teenage years, allowing her to grow up with a sense of normalcy amidst the fame of her parents. Though Lexi inherited her parents' creativity, she has kept her life fairly private. Iman, understanding the pressures of fame, advised Lexi to remain off the radar as long as she could. Lexi's decision to stay private became especially clear on her 18th birthday, when Iman shared a series of photos of her. Modeling offers soon poured in, but Iman turned them down for her daughter, explaining, "This can all wait. Have a life that is private while you can, because one day soon it is going to be public, so enjoy this." Even though Lexi doesn't appear in front of the camera, she has carved out her own creative path. She is an artist who shares her drawings and paintings on Instagram, showcasing her distinctive style with abstract characters and bold colors. Her artwork, which she sometimes prints on clothing and accessories, reflects her deep artistic spirit. On her website, she describes art as a form of meditation, a space where she can freely express herself. Lexi's hope is to inspire others to find their own passions, and her art is a way of connecting with the world, even while she maintains her privacy. But did you know he has a son too? David Bowie wasn't just a music icon, he was also a proud father. His first child, Duncan Zoe Jones, was born in 1971 with Bowie's first wife, model and actress Angie Bowie. Duncan's early life was a blend of fame and family, as he was affectionately known as Zoe Bowie in the press. But as he grew up, Duncan decided to shift to a more grounded name, using Duncan instead of his childhood nickname. Duncan had an impressive academic journey, attending a top boarding school in Scotland, and then moving to the U.S. to study philosophy in Ohio. Later, he returned to England to follow his passion for film at the London International Film School, graduating in 2001. Bowie was incredibly supportive of Duncan's choice, but he waited patiently as his son found his path. When Duncan finally directed his first movie, Moon, in 2009, Bowie felt immense pride. Duncan recalls their emotional moment at the Sundance Film Festival, saying, "He's been waiting for me to get off my A and do what it is that I'm going to do with my life." Duncan's debut film, Moon, gained critical acclaim and even won a BAFTA award. Bowie continued to support his son's filmmaking, even if he waited until the films were complete to watch them. They often stayed connected through weekly Skype calls and visits, discussing life and art. Duncan has since directed more films, like Source Code in 2011 and Warcraft, The Beginning in 2016, showcasing his talent in sci-fi and fantasy storytelling. Alongside his career, Duncan built a family with his wife, photographer Rodini Ronchillo. After a brief engagement, they married in 2012, just after Rodini's breast cancer diagnosis. She underwent treatment, and they went on to have 2 children together. Their son, Stenton David Jones, was born 6 months after Bowie's death, followed by their daughter, Zoe Tala Mabsy Jones, in 2018. A daughter honoring her father's legacy. Lexi's connection with her father remains a central part of her life. In 2018, on the anniversary of Bowie's passing, Lexi paid tribute with a tattoo of a crescent moon, along with the words Daddy X and Bowie's birth and death years, 1947 to 2016. It was a beautiful and personal way of keeping his memory close. In January 2023, she marked another anniversary by sharing a precious childhood video of herself playing the keyboard with her father, as well as a photo of them together under an umbrella. She captioned it, "7 years ago today, I miss you." Lexi has also shown a deep interest in music, a natural extension of her father's legacy. In 2021, she shared a clip of herself singing an original song, admitting she was nervous to post it. "I keep going back and forth between hating it and liking it, but F it," she wrote, describing her drunken rough take of the song. Music, like her art, seems to be a way for her to process and express her feelings, much like her father did throughout his life. Iman's enduring love and ever-present memories with Bowie. Since Bowie's death in 2016, Iman has continued to honor his memory in touching ways. She often corrects people when they refer to Bowie as her late husband, stating firmly, "He is my husband. He's ever present with me." Her love for Bowie has become a lasting source of strength, and she treasures the time they spent together. Iman speaks of him as her perfect person, a love that remains alive in her heart. This enduring connection is something she wishes everyone could experience at least once in their lives, describing it as a profound gift that continues to shape her days. Iman feels Bowie's presence all around her, especially in their home, where she often recalls the wonderful memories they shared. One of her fondest reminders is the stunning sunset view from their house, a sight that Bowie loved. When she watches the sunsets, she feels Bowie is somehow still with her. She has also worn a necklace bearing his name since he passed away, a gift from designer Hedi Slimane, and it has become a daily reminder of their bond. Iman described how the memories have become less about loss and more about celebrating the beautiful years they spent together. The memories are now of how great it was. Through her love and memories, Iman has kept Bowie's legacy alive, reflecting a love that defied the limits of time and life itself. How do you think David Bowie's legacy lives on through his family and fans today? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating stories.